Happy holidays, everyone! Jordan here, and for my present to all of you is I will be doing my first reaction video. But it's not just one video, oh no. My present to you is I will be doing 3 videos. That's right, you heard right, 3 videos at the same time. Now, the videos I'll be reacting to is Foal Alone, which is a Home Alone MLP crossover by Agent Zero Fluffy. I actually have auditioned for this fanfic reading but didn't get any parts. But one of my friends and co-stars, Jacob M. Keen, actually got to play 3 different roles, so shout out to you, man. Alright, enough lollygagging around, let's get started. BoxOfVoices.com presents Foal Alone, written by Weirdbeard. Chapter 1, Jingle All the Way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Snowflakes lazily danced downward from the night
Ooh,
sky.
nice snowfall effect.
It was quite picturesque for the little town, as hardly any pony was about the streets. Nary a sound was made, scarce for the hubbub that distinctly echoed from Sweet Apple Acres. Even though the Apple family should have been in bed hours ago, all sorts of racket was being raised.
Whoa, what's Big Mac so angry about?
Applejack, get the children ready.
Wait, is that Granny Smith? Is she voiced by a guy? Huh. Well, it sounds weird.
For the trip.
Yes, Granny.
The youngest of their close-knit group, though, managed to escape for air, if only for a moment. Apple Bloom trotted out the back door, looking back warily in case any pony noticed. She could hardly believe their humble home could fit so many ponies. Almost every pony and their cat and dog of the Apple family filled in the farmhouse. The filly sighed, mainly due to the fact that she would be forced to sleep on the floor again.
Real sorry for you, Apple Bloom.
Would take her bed. However,
she has a snowflake on her muzzle.
A snowflake land on her muzzle.
It's finally snowing! We're gonna have a White Heart Lemonade after all!
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
And she began to bounce merrily. The Picaside teams had been delaying this year's snowfall, and it was a wonder if they would have ever gotten around to it. However, the cloud cover proved to be quite promising of sweeping the earth with a fresh patch of white snow.
Apple Bloom, I'm not going to tell you again. Get your rear gear and start packing.
Come on, Granny Smith, she's a filly. Just let her have some fun.
The yellow filly turned around quickly to find her grandmother standing by the doorway. Granny Smith stared expectantly at her granddaughter, pointing a hoof behind her.
Your bags ain't gonna fill themselves.
Wait, where's her ball?
Butts are for chairs, little friend.
Butts are for chairs.
In the morning. Besides, there's already snow on the ground at your Aunt and Uncle Orange's. All of your cousins are set to pack. I think little Mushycore is even in bed now, too.
Ah! Apple Bloom groaned. Of all her relatives.
Oh, I'm guessing this must be an original character for this story, considering it doesn't look like a canonized character. So, but that looks more like a full-grown stallion than a colt. Ah, well, you can't always, use the right puppets, or whatever they're called.
Mushycore was the least compatible. Not because he was mean or anything like that, but simply because the young buck was... odd.
Did you put him in my room?
would we put him?
Granny asked, shrugging her shoulders.
Probably in the
See how much
basement.
water he drank tonight? He's gonna wet my bed for sure.
Sadly,
Ugh. Oh yeah, 'cause in the movie, Kevin actually has a cousin who constantly drinks soda and pees everywhere. Yeah, that's real unfortunate.
she was absolutely correct. Even though Mushy Cora was older than Apple Bloom, the young buck's bladder was virtually non-existent. It would be a small miracle if there wasn't a flash flood by morning.
Gross.
That's enough, Apple Bloom. At least entertain your cousins for now.
At her command, the little filly bowed her head and trotted past her grandmother. She would have to accept her fate now, as there really wasn't any other option. The entire Apple family would be leaving in the morning for Manhattan to celebrate Heartswarming Eve together. All of Apple Bloom's friends had already left town the day before to visit their distant relatives as well. Fortunately, her brother and sister were still around, of course. It just so happened that Applejack and Big Mac were near the back anyway, trying to cater to their needy relatives. Apple Bloom grinned at her siblings and nodded towards the window.
Well, wait a minute. Why does Big Mac look younger here? In a previous scene, back inside here, he was supposed to be how old he is now, but here he looks like when he and AJ were younger. Why is that? Oh my god. Is Big Mac secretly an alicorn? Oh my god. What a conspiracy.
Did you see? It's finally snowing.
Yup.
Whew. There you are.
Did you see that? He was older and now he's become younger, so it's been confirmed. Or I could be wrong. Well, I'll let you guys decide.
Sis, I was wondering where you ran off to. Got your stuff packed, right?
The yellow filly rubbed her neck nervously.
Not exactly. Come on, Apple Bloom, we can't cut it this close. The train leaves before sunrise tomorrow.
Applejack explained. She glanced out the window, smiling for a moment at the drifting snow. A thin coat was already blanketing the ground outside. Her green eyes flickered and caught sight of something else outside, causing her to involuntarily shudder.
There's that shoveler again.
Apple Bloom raised a brow at her sister.
Shove what now?
The elder sister pointed at a particular point beyond their view. As Apple Bloom squinted, she could barely make out the form of a broad, gray, gruff-looking stallion.
Oh,
Even at
that
this
must be the
distance,
old
Billy
man.
could tell that the stranger.
But wait, why don't you just use an elderly stallion model? I mean, it would make more sense than just adding a few white hairs on a young stallion's body. But that's just my own opinion.
Wasn't too pleasant.
The shoveler. Every first snowfall, he wanders around town aimlessly. He doesn't ever speak to anybody. Just carries a shovel with him and creates paths in the snow. That doesn't seem too strange.
Apple Bloom began, but was soon cut off by Big Mac.
Ain't the point, Apple Bloom.
Her elder brother stated. They continued watching the topic pony trot on. He simply pushed the shovel along the ground, scooping up snow as he went.
He's not paid for it or anything. Most say he did something terrible, and this is part of his punishment. Anyway, don't go and bother him.
At first notice of her look to protest, Applejack raised a huff to her little sister.
This ain't like the case with Cora. Celestia herself told us not to disturb him. I'm not lying to you. He's dangerous.
Just as the orange mare finished, the menacing stranger quickly looked towards their window. The three siblings darted out of view, not wanting to chance if the shoveler really saw them. After a moment, they peeked over the windowsill to find the strange stallion trotting away. Applebloom merely shrugged, but was forced out of the way when more cousins filled into the room. Hopefully, she would be able to spend more time with her siblings later. When Applebloom entered the
Oh, so we're done with the artwork, so now it's just the fanfic
a
cover.
loud knocking echoed from the front door. Granny groaned angrily. Applebloom, only being able to catch her mutter something about timberwolves and rapes. The elderly mare begrudgingly trotted to the door while avoiding the many relatives that packed the small room. Finally, she reached the front door and kicked it open. A tall, thin stallion clothed with a dark blue trench coat stood upon the porch, grimly staring ahead. Even though he was hooded and completely covered by the thick cloth, Granny Smith caught a glance of his bright green eyes. His thick clothing reminded her that it was indeed now winter and incited a shiver through her bones as the wind blew by.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm just checking on...
For the last time, we believe in Celestia, you nightmare-worshipping hippie! Get off my porch!
The
Nightmare-worshipping
interrupted with a
hippie?
shout. Before the visitors
So,
could run in,
Is
the door was
that supposed to be symbolism?
From the far end of the room, Applejack at last escaped the cleaning, more peculiar relatives to witness the episode at the front door. She groaned and rubbed at her temple with a huff.
Granny, I think that was somebody else.
Her grandmother failed to hear her, however, and instead trotted away.
Granny Smith, you senile little fool. Don't you know you have to check people before you judge them?
Yes?
The cloaked figure turned back to face her. For a split second, the orange cow pony could have sworn she saw a strand of red and white hair.
Evening. As I was about to say, I'm just checking on the neighborhood. The mayor heard that several friends are coming out of town and wanted to see if you were as well.
Applejack was about to respond, but paused when a loud guffaw erupted from inside. Sighing, she trotted out the doorway to stand with the stallion in the falling snow.
Sorry. It's been real hectic here. All the relatives are staying the night before we head off to Manhattan.
Ah, so you are heading out. Good thing I caught you then. The mayor hired myself and several others to patrol the town in case of any burglary.
Burglary? In Ponyville?
Oh, I see.
Indeed, miss. There have already been several cases throughout the town. However, I will make sure nothing happens to you.
Come on, Applejack, it's Flam. You've seen him and his brother several times. How could you not recognize their voices by now?
Applejack replied slowly, waiting for the stallion to give his name.
Porch. Wood porch.
The stallion
Wood
finally
porch?
responded,
Seriously?
trying his best to maintain his composure. Despite how suspicious he was, Applejack continued on anyway.
Mr. Woodporch, thank you kindly for letting us know about... Who you talking to, Sykes?
Applebloom interrupted. The yellow filly had snuck out yet again to see who was visiting at the late hour. At her intrusion, Applejack narrowed her eyes at her little sister.
God sorry, Applebloom. Didn't I just tell you to go get packed? Scoot your boot. I was just meeting with this here patrol pony.
Applebloom tilted her head in examination of the cloaked stranger before her.
Hi, mister. Isn't a patrol pony supposed to have a badge?
Applebloom!
The stallion chuckled.
Come on, AJ, she's right.
Anyway,
It's quite all right. Here you go, little one.
with a brisk shove into his coat, he pulled the small badge out of his pocket. Sure enough, it had the seal of Equestria as well as a silver star in the center.
What?
Worry about.
As
They're
the
con
little
artists. How could they
figure
possibly
eyed
be
closer,
authenticated
noticed
by
clothing
the
around
equestrian,
the stallion's jaw had
equestrian
slightly
royalty?
lowered. A small red mustache poked around the corners of his mouth, causing Applebloom to gasp a bit.
You're the
Before she could make an accusation, Applejack suddenly pulled her aside and put a hoof over her mouth.
That's enough, Apple Bloom.
The orange mare glanced back to the cloaked figure.
I'm really sorry. She's normally better mannered.
That's quite all right, ma'am. You have a good night.
The stallion replied. He looked back at Apple Bloom and nodded.
Happy Hearthstorming Eve.
Take care, Woodporch.
The cow pony said, dragging Apple Bloom back inside while the stallion departed. Once she had the door closed, Applejack released her sister to admonish her.
What the hey was that about?
Apple Bloom sputtered at her sister's blatancy.
Did you see his mustache? That was...
Racist! Just cause a man got a mustache, you think, oh, I gotta call him out on his bullshit. Like,
Wait, what'd she just say?
man got a mustache, you think, oh, I gotta call him out on his bullshit.
Oh my god, she just swore? Boy, I guess the writer of this fanfic wasn't afraid to be very vulgar. But then again, the original movie had some profanity as well, so I guess I could let it slide. For now, at least.
Like, let me tell you something.
Applejack! Rayburn's hitting on Apple Turnover again!
A shrill, foolish voice called out.
What? I'm not, cuz. I was just talking to her.
Good gravy, this night's never gonna end. Apple Bloom, go get packed.
The orange mare commanded, before trotting back into the thicket of the family gathering.
Oh, why won't any pony listen to me around here?
The yellow
Because you're a little filly, Apple Bloom. No one ever listens to a little filly.
Bodies in the family room. Apple Bloom walked alongside the wall to the kitchen.
Maybe I was just saying things. It couldn't have been that pony.
She thought to herself. Even though the night wasn't going her way, she could try to salvage some enjoyment. After all, there was a jar of Zap Apple Jam just for her that she had been saving for Hearthswarming Eve. Relatives still filled the kitchen completely, however, as she finally managed her way through. One day, she would ask Applejack why the storks had left so many babies for the Apple family. For now, it was simply a mystery to her. Maybe they just got lazy and stopped at their homes. That was enough silly thinking for the filly, though. The time called for desperate measures. It just so happened that those desperate measures tasted like pure bliss.
Now for some nice safe Applejack.
However, as Apple Bloom reached into the cupboard for her coveted treasure, the jar was nowhere to be found.
Huh?
She frantically pulled other jars out, desperately hoping that it was still hiding within. Unfortunately, there was no sign of the Zap Apple Jam. It was then that she heard the telltale sound of smacking lips. Even though she had thought the night couldn't get any worse, with cramped space, scoldings, hardly any sanity, and no pony to play with, she slowly glanced behind herself to see Mushy Core devouring her jam. His lime-colored coat was smeared completely with the delicious treat, quite oblivious of the filly in front of him. At completion of the jar, Mushy belched loudly and sighed in satisfaction. His ruby eyes widened at Apple Bloom's shocked expression, but he smiled sheepishly.
Sorry about that, cousin. I had a bad dream about a river, and I really needed a snack.
You sure it wasn't your river? Oh!
Growing anger. Instead, he held the empty jar towards her and asked,
Is there any more?
That was it. That was the last straw that caused Apple Bloom to unleash an angry scream. Mushy simply sat there in mild thought, wondering what in Equestria could have prompted that sudden burst. The yellow filly rushed forward. All rationality was bucked out the window because of the oaf's inconsiderateness.
I will save the night!
Apple Bloom shouted. Her forehoof shoved into Mushy Core's stout body, causing him to backpedal into the kitchen's fine glassware case. The collision resulted into every single plate and goblet within to tumble to the floor. Glass shattered across the hardwood floor, inciting even more ponies to back away in fear of injury. This only continued a domino.
Oh man, this can't be good.
More and more objects. At last, the glass rain phenomenon concluded and left the kitchen and all adjoining rooms in shambles. Apple Bloom stood motionless, perplexed by the events that just transpired.
Apple Bloom! It wasn't my fault, it was...
Before she could excuse herself, though, Big Mac interjected.
Look at what you've done.
At his command, the little filly slowly gazed about the room. Every pony was staring at her, with different looks of disgust or judgment. She kicked at the floor dejectedly.
But that was my...
You're coming with me, little filly.
Applejack exclaimed.
Oh boy, this won't end well.
The orange cow pony scooped her sister up onto her back and retreated the kitchen. Granny and Big Mac began procuring brooms and dustpans, while every pony else did their best to help clean. The two sisters exited out the back door, heading towards the barn.
Applejack, it wasn't my fault!
I know it wasn't, but you weren't exactly being the best little filly tonight. You should have at least listened to us and done what we told you.
The elder sister explained. The snowfall had decreased at the moment, but continued to fall.
I know it's frustrating right now, but it ain't exactly a picnic for me either.
Why couldn't we just stay here for Heartwarming Eve by ourselves? Having every pony in the family celebrate together isn't worth it!
Come on, Apple Bloom, you don't mean that.
Yes, I do!
The younger sister exclaimed. Applejack trotted inside the barn, lighting a few candles and obtaining blankets, while her sister continued her tirade on the floor.
I've been scolded this whole time they've been here! All my friends are gone, there's no room around at all, and Mushy Core ate all my sap apple jam! I wish I didn't have to spend Heartwarming Eve with any of them!
Sis?
Unfortunately, Apple Bloom's anger bristled her protests onward.
I wish I didn't have any pony to bug me on Heartwarming Eve! No family to ruin the holiday! I wish I had Heartwarming Eve for myself!
Applejack frowned, staring sadly at her little
That's
sister.
terrible.
Then you would have a very lonely Heartwarming Eve.
A short silence passed over the two sisters as they stared at one another. Finally, Applejack sighed and said,
Good night, sis. Get some rest before the train arrives early tomorrow.
Slowly, the orange mirror exited the barn, leaving Apple Bloom alone to her thoughts and with plenty of blankets to keep warm. The filly stared at her departing sister for a moment, before finally nestling within several quilts and then blowing out the candles. For every pony's sake, she hoped that things would be better in the morning. Meanwhile, the patrol pony that had visited was trotting slowly away from the farm. There seemed to be a strange spring in his step as he hummed quietly to himself. The snow continued its slow descent around him in the orchard. It was when it was quietest that the stallion suddenly stopped.
Looks like they're leaving town after all.
See? I told you this would be the perfect time.
Yep,
A voice
that's
called
Flim
out
and
from
Flam.
inside. The cloaked patrol pony glanced towards the source to find a slender, beige-colored unicorn stallion approaching him. He wore a peculiar hat and a blue pinstripe vest that somehow complemented his red and white mane.
I believe I told you, brother of mine.
The patrol pony replied. He brought a hoof to his head and pulled the thick hood down to reveal his similarly colored mane.
Anyway, they didn't even suspect a thing. They think that we're the good guys.
Flam replied, his chuckle rustling his mustache.
then we'll finally have our revenge. We'll steal all the apple trees.
Apple trees? Oh, Flim. We gotta go bigger. Their apples would grow back after all. No, it's their prized possessions, their recipes, and everything precious to them that we're going after.
Flim smiled, nodding in response.
Even better, brother. Sounds like a happy, heartwarming eve to me.
Indeed, brother of mine. Indeed.
He laughed softly, but gradually raised in volume and strength. Flim soon matched alongside.
They have really weird evil laughs.
Noise being only heard between the two stallions. Whether for better or worse, the Flim brothers were back and thirsty for vengeance.
To be continued. Chapter 1 credits. Fanfic written by Weirdbeard. Pikamew 15 as Apple Bloom and Applejack. Wow, she did very good as both of them. Crystal Bell as Granny Smith. Oh, so it wasn't a male who voices her. Geeky Sonic as Big Mac. Optic Rainfall as Mushy Core. Oh, see, this is what he should have looked like in the reading, instead of just a full-grown stallion figure. Jacob M. Keen as Bray, Burn, and Flam. Once again, shout out to you, man. Saved by Voice as Flim. Agent Zero Fluffy as narrator. Artists: Asher Rivers and MLP Twinkleshine. They're very talented. I'll give them that. Directed, edited, and produced by Agent Zero Fluffy. Way to go above and beyond. Full Alone Chapter 1 bloopers. Oh, bloopers, I like those. Text from Lady.
This woman wants me to be there for the trick-or-treaters, to make cookies, to make costumes. Like, what the fuck you want from me?
What?
Do I live at your damn house? My lord, my baby Jesus, it's Halloween night. It's freaking nightmare night, bro. I mean, in here, it's Heartwarming Eve, but nightmare night, bitch! Like, do you think I don't have a life? Do you think I don't have shit to do? Like, bruh. Okay. Whatever. Okay. Where the hell she gonna get all this candy? Okay, I need to move on. I'm triggered. I'm triggered right now. Shovel what now? Shovel shit! Not understand, Apple Bloom. I don't know. Like, what do you mean, shovel? Come think of it. Do we even have a toilet?
What?
I can't answer that right now. So, does that mean the stable boy? Like, does that mean we have a stable horse? Wait, don't you? I don't understand this. Nobody's ever explained how we use the bathroom.
Yeah, that's true. Why hasn't that been established?
Well, I assume we had toilets. I mean, we have chairs. Which a toilet is like a chair.
That is true.
Now it's got me thinking. Do we have toilets? Granny! Granny! What? What do you want? Trying to pack up my shit and get ready for the morning. I just wanted to know, do we have indoor plumbing? What kind of fancy doohickey is that?
Well,
Ain't nobody got indoor plumbing around here. That shit's expensive.
Well, you obviously.
Bucket.
What? Oh, gross.
Guess you got your answer, Apple Bloom.
That can't be.
Disgusting.
You could say that
Yeah,
again.
you ain't gonna say it's disgusting when you have to go so bad.
But they have to have indoor plumbing since it's been established that they have sinks.
So mean and ratchet. She don't even sound like a sweet old lady. She just sounds like a ratchet woman. She's just like, eh. Sassy. Ugh.
Fucking nightmare worshipping hippie. Like, what the fuck, Granny?
Oh,
What
man.
the fuck, Granny? Hey, don't get mad at me. Okay? You're the one that chose to vote for freaking Nightmare Moon.
What?
Jesus.
Was that a stab at the 2016 election? Oh, Granny Smith has a spaz attack.
Granny, are you having one of your spaz attacks again?
Yes, I am. I'm triggered. I'm triggered as a motherfucker.
Oh, man.
Granny, I think it, fucking shit.
Read your line right. Read your damn line right.
10 Little Ponies reference.
Ow.
What the fuck is this? Do you hear this shit?
Hear what?
Fuck you making all that damn noise? Better be moving your bitch ass somewhere else. I bet I fucking tell you that. I'm
Okay.
confused.
Looking at the script.
This is Apple Bloom, right? This is the same color as Apple Bloom. I think I'm a little confuzzled.
Confuzzled?
Look back.
Is that even a word?
Oh no, it's just slightly the same. Okay, I got confused because it was just slightly the same color, and that's why I was like, oh, Flam. Fuck you, Flam!
Ain't nobody wants you. I thought that was my line.
Did you just rip ass?
But
Oh my god. That's fantastic. That's just fan-freaking-tastic. Febreze! Perfume will be.
Coughing up a lot. Ugh. Oh, man. Ugh, I hate it when these things buffer. Are you okay? Well, no, she's coughing up a lung.
I'm okay.
Wood porch. Am I really that stupid to believe that?
Apparently you are. No wonder I slammed the door on that motherfucker. Randy knows best. Like, didn't you ever hear that song?
What? Cute Granny knows. Oh my
Randy knows
god.
best. Listen to your Gramsy.
I had to
Oh, face!
I had to slap you for singing that.
Randy knows best.
Next time, I'll just let you slam that damn door. Shit! Alright.
Butts are for chairs, little filly. We have to be ready to go in the morning. Besides, there's already snow on the ground, and your aunt and Uncle Oranges. I messed up that line. Well, shit.
Oh.
Shit. I messed up that line. Damn. Shit. Well, I guess this is Granny Smith unhinged now, isn't it?
Sure is. Ew.
It's not loud enough. Bounce louder.
Come on, I heard louder belches from Garfield.
Oh, water.
Who are you talking to, sis?
Accidental Applebloom line.
I tell you what, brother, it's amazing being able to do these evil laughs. I wish I had a mustache to twirl. Aren't we nefarious? Okay, brother of mine, I'm getting a little bit lightheaded now. So, I'm going to wrap this up.
Did he already have a picture of cider?
As the little filly leaned in to admire it closer, she noticed
Might cut off.
Okay, let me try that again. At her outburst, the orange pony looked up her sister.
Another mic cut off.
At her outburst, the orange ponies. At her outburst, the cow pony.
Chair moving.
At her outburst, the orange cow pony scooped up her. Come on! Can you freaking read this? Okay.
I don't know, can you? Stay tuned for the next chapter, and thanks for watching. Well, there's actually no need to stay tuned because, as I said, all 3 chapters have been uploaded. So, let's give chapter 2 a shot. I already read this, so I'm not going to read it again. Chapter 2, Rockin' Around the Hearth Tree. And a happy holiday.
The gentle snowfall continued throughout the evening and up into the morning, completely coating all of Ponyville in a blanket of white. Normally, this would not have posed a problem for the early morning traditions of the Apple family at all.
No.
Especially since it really mattered on this particular day to depart to Manhattan. Unfortunately, the cloud cover was grossly thick and inhibited all rays of sunrise that could have awakened the family. Most of the corral's critters had been hauled away previously to spend winter at the Appaloosa Ranch. Thus, there wasn't a chance of the cows nor Winona awakening the apples either. The hen house still held occupants, but their reliable rooster had decided to spend the night on the town. At least, that's what the rooster would say if it could speak. Truth be told, the harmlessly clues...
You know, that's a really good question. How come other creatures aside from ponies can't speak? Well, sure, there is a cat as well as dogs and hippogriffs and also griffins and yaks and any non-sentient creature. But what do I know? It's just MLP logic.
It was kicked out of the chicken coop by its own hens and left alone to sleep in the snow. It was now 10 minutes before the train would depart that the rooster finally arose. As it realized the grave folly that was committed, the rooster unleashed an unholy crowing that caused even the heaviest of sleepers to launch skywards.
Timberwolves are howling!
Timberwolves?
In shock, bolting up right
in the middle of heartswarming?
Timberwolves are howling!
The combination of the rooster and Granny Smith's shouts echoed loudly through the farmhouse. Every pony was soon awakened by the strange chorus and immediately responded with a cacophony of complaints and expletives.
I'm gonna ring that scrawny varmints.
Every pony!
Applejack shouted over the boisterous din. Her relatives all halted their tirade, save for Grady's hollering about the Timberwolves. The orange mare glanced at the grandfather clock opposite her bed, prompting double-taking when she saw the time.
We slept in! Everybody up and at 'em! The train's about to leave!
Move your flanks!
Her call to arms heralded more shouts of surprise as the whole home tumbled into turmoil and utter anarchy. foals and elderly ponies stampeded through rooms to fully prepare each other. The madness reigned for a good 2 minutes. Any created messes were simply left in order to catch the train. Amidst the hustle and bustle, Applejack collided with her big brother in the hallway. The impact left them both dazed for a moment, but the red stallion hurriedly shook his head to clear the phase.
Got the tickets?
Granny's got him. I'll get the luggage. You make sure every pony is ready.
They parted sides instantly, almost leaving small puffs of dust behind themselves. Most of the Apple family had already fled the home in hopes of delaying the train for the rest of them. Big Mac began tallying every relative, making sure that every pony was accounted for. The large buck pondered for a moment, suddenly remembering his youngest sister.
Bushy Cord, go get your cousin Apple Bloom.
What?
Big Mac smacked a hoof against his face. Despite the young foal's earlier claim of not wetting the bed, it was obvious that he was dilly-dallying with horrendous attempt at removing his evidence.
Your cousin Apple Bloom. Go get your cousin.
He shouted, straightaway turning around without a confirmation. Mushy Core remained where he stood while processing what his big cousin had asked of him.
I'll get cows in? This place gets weirder and weirder.
Oh, come on, how could you possibly misinterpret that?
The home was soon emptied of every pony, including Granny Smith, who was still on full alert for Timberwolves. Without another word, the entire Apple family sprinted off at maddening speeds to the train station. Miraculously, the train was still loading. In the back of his mind, however, the conductor could only wish that he left earlier as he witnessed a giant cloud of kicked-up snow fast approaching.
We're here! Don't leave!
The conductor clicked his tongue.
Cutting it a bit close, are we?
He asked as the family completely filled the station's loading area.
This train has to leave right now.
Here are your gold darn tickets, Sonny. Now out of the way. I gotta get my morning nap.
Granny crinkly hollered. She unloaded the bundle of paper, which unceremoniously burst apart upon the surprised conductor. Seeing her job was done, the elderly mare stepped onto the train and promptly passed out on the first open seat. Applejack smiled sheepishly at the fuming conductor.
Sorry about that. I promise you, though, we have all the tickets we need here for every pony.
The orange mare stated, leading the rest of the family onto the train.
Oh, fine. Just get onto the train.
The conductor exclaimed in frustration. While he knelt down to retrieve the fallen tickets, all of the apples proceeded onto the train and seated into empty spots.
Sheesh. Some ponies.
Regardless of their morning mishap,
Hey, you better watch your mouth or you're gonna get fired.
just in time as the train gently carried them away. Everything was going to work out. Or so they thought. Apple Bloom blearily blinked away the blurs in her vision. She had at last awakened on her own accord after a surprisingly fantastic night of sleep for the young filly. Even though she was in the barn, the formidable blanket fortress she had somehow constructed during her slumber was quite comfortable over the hard-packed floor. Not only that, but it had muffled any noises that may have disturbed her through the night. That, of course, applied to the loud ruckus that occurred just moments ago. She yawned and stretched out her hooves as she emerged from the cozy chamber.
Yup! Today's gonna be a great day! Wait,
The yellow filly paused in mid-thought before merrily exclaiming,
today's the day for Heartswarming Eve! Yay!
At her jovial shout, Applebloom's stomach seemed to protest as it loudly rumbled. She blushed lightly and rubbed at her small tummy. It was breakfast time, after all. The young filly proceeded out of the barn with a spry spring in her step.
I wonder what Granny Smith made for breakfast. I bet it's something real tasty since every pony's here.
Well, she made you a big
Once
plate of
more,
nothing.
Appleblom's line of thought halted as she remembered the evening's events. Perhaps she had made a few erroneous judgments, but she felt that she had been wronged herself. Mushycore had eaten all of her Zap Apple jam and he wasn't even punished for it. However, Appleblom felt confident that everything had smoothed out. She was going to walk right into the kitchen and have a magnificent meal. Only to find the kitchen was completely devoid of any and all ponies. Appleblom cocked her head to the side.
It's a ghost house.
That no pony was around.
Granny Smith? Applejack? Where y'all at?
She called out. When no immediate response reached the filly's ears, she trotted forward into the living room. To her surprise, no pony filled in the previous non-vacant room as an eerie quiet met the tiny, investigatory earth pony. She bit her lip in befuddlement.
Big Mac? Brayburn?
Appleblom asked aloud, yet still there was no reply.
Hello? Any pony?
Her unanswered interrogations continued. She even uttered one more question, quietly.
Mushycore?
In honesty, though, she wasn't disappointed that he didn't yield to the call. However, the mysterious absence of every pony but herself within the home was absolutely baffling. She carefully sat on her haunches and tried to piece together what she already knew. Without a doubt, her family would not have just left her behind while they vacationed. One does not simply abandon their loved ones on Heartswarming Eve. Yet here she was, alone in the home with no pony to bug her. It led her to believe from all the evidence before her that there was only one possible deduction.
My wish came true!
Appleblom yelped. The impossibility of it all resonated through the small filly's
Appleblom, this is a world where unicorns inhabit it, and suddenly wishing surprises you?
Then again, some wishes do come true now that she thought about it. Thus, she sat and mused about what this entitled. It would have been nice to have her friends around with her, but both Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo were away in Canterlot. On the bright side, though, she had the house completely to herself. Plenty of space, no scolding, no Mushycore. After a few moments, a small grin soon creased across Appleblom's muzzle.
I'm alone, and there's nobody around that could ruin Heartswarming Eve! Time to deck the halls!
With House of Holly, fa la 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 la.
Humming the only tune that could probably fit the forthcoming montage, the little filly set off to create the greatest Heartswarming Eve ever. Raiding the storage room for cider, unboxing a plethora of decorations, donning several garments of festivity, and all sorts of acts of merriment, not to mention swinging from the ceiling by use of long garland. Soon, the house was decorated inside and out with all things Heartswarming Eve related. Even the fake, cheesy Wendigo lawn ornaments were posted on the front yard. Their whimsical design and foolish caricatures amused Appleblom, but would drive any normal pony to groan inwardly. Wreaths, candy canes, strands of popcorn, wrapping paper, lights, holidays, oh my! Indeed, the filly was quite content with her holiday cheer. She had finished decorating every square inch of her home and could now sit back and relax with a nice, frothy mug of cider. The afternoon had passed splendidly, and the sun was setting on a great day. Things were going her way. That is, until she heard
There is always a catch.
just outside on the porch.
What's all this mismatch? Their house wasn't decorated last night.
For some reason, Applebloom recognized the accent behind the stallion outside, but she couldn't place who it could be. Cautiously, she crept closer to the door and listened closely.
Maybe they potted up the fountain this morning?
Like the former, his voice also sounded familiar to the little filly. Alas, she was left pondering as to who was standing outside and what in Equestria they could want. A quick scoff soon emerged from the first stallion.
They may be impractical, brother of mine, but they're not stupid. Why would they do that when they were leaving town today?
I bet it was a kiddo. Bulls are idiots after all.
You're an idiot, Flip. Now help me get this door open.
You know you could have just used your horns to unlock the door,
One door
right?
soon burst open. She squinted immediately. The contrast of light between the house and outside quite disorienting. After a moment, though, her vision returned. Oh, how she wished it happened. There, before the small filly, stood the unmistakable forms of Flim and Flam. They still wore their trademark hats and vests, but had bundled up a bit more for the cold and snow. The one-time rivals of the Apple family were back again, and Applebloom could scarcely think of what they wanted now.
You!
She quickly yelled, pointing a hoof towards them.
You?
They instantly replied, as they recognized the filly. Flam pounded a hoof against the porch, irritation burning fiercely in his eyes.
You're supposed to be out of town, you little brat.
The
Well,
tall
she's
stallion
not.
accused. His red mustache bristled as his lips formed a grim sneer.
How did you...
Applebloom started, but paused as she pieced together why else she recognized his voice. Her jaw dropped as she uttered a gasp of realization and exclaimed,
That was the patrol pony who was here last night!
You
Flam
think?
bit his tongue, seething more at the yellow filly. Flim raised a brow and glanced at his brother.
Guess she's a smarter cookie than we thought, Flam.
He said, pushing his hat
And you're
back.
finding this out now?
Get it, brother of mine.
Flam retorted, smacking his twin's side with a hoof. His glare returned to Applebloom, and his eyes narrowed.
Now, you're going to be a good little filly and do what we say. Celestia and Luna are watching after all.
The mustached stallion stated as he neared closer to the youngest Apple. His horn was already beginning to radiate faintly green.
Nuh-uh! I ain't trusting neither of ya! What y'all doing here?
Applebloom questioned. She backpedaled a bit in defense while Flam approached her.
Don't you already know? Revenge, kiddo! After your family humiliated us, it's high time we take back what's rightfully ours. Or rather, to put it...
That's what I mean when I talked about in the first chapter. They've seen these, they've seen the brothers before, so how come they didn't recognize their voices?
More simply, for your goodness little brain, we're robbing you!
Applebloom's eyes shrank as she realized she was in much more danger than she could probably handle. Thankfully, her fight-or-flight response was already kicking into high gear.
Never!
She cried out, springing forward between the two stallions. Her sudden outbursts surprised both of the brothers and left them fumbling for the fleeing filly. Flam's horn flashed brilliantly as he shot a green spark towards Applebloom, but ended up striking Flim instead. The resulting attack shot through Flim's body and caused him to twist sporadically.
Ow! That really chopped my eye, Flam.
In bizarre retaliation, the clean-shaven stallion shot a bolt of green magic toward his brother. Flam flopped onto the ground, the shock affecting him just as bad as it had to Flim.
Ow! You stupid fence post! She's getting away!
Despite how funny it was to the little filly, Applebloom continued galloping away from the farm and the brothers. Now wasn't the time for fooling around, and she wanted to find some help. Unfortunately for her, Flim and Flam were already back up and pursuing her.
Help! Help! Somebody help!
The brothers kept their chase.
There's
but
no
they
one
couldn't
around,
catch her
Applebloom.
as
You're
her
all
long legs
alone
continued
now.
Progress in the snow. It further frustrated them as Applebloom somehow rocketed ahead, the packed snow doing nothing thanks to her small weight.
Hey, Mommy!
By now, they had left Sweet Apple Acres entirely and entered into Ponyville. The streets were covered just like the road from the farm, much of it left untouched. Sadly, it seemed every pony really had left for the holiday, and no pony was around to save the day.
Give it up, kiddo!
Flam shouted. They, too, knew that there was little hope for the filly. She would eventually tire out and they would catch her. It was only a matter of time.
If you stop now, he won't hurt you!
But, Alta, Flap, are you... Ow!
He shrieked
Oh.
as he ran headfirst into a low-hanging sign. The impact didn't knock him out, but it absolutely clotheslined the tall stallion and sent hooves over hooves into Flam. The two tumbled for a good distance, all while grunting in pain.
Ow! Get up, Flam! She's getting away!
Flam shouted angrily. They scrambled to their hooves, but the collision had given the filly more time to escape. Unfortunately for Applebloom, that didn't mean a whole lot since no pony was around to help her.
Think, Applebloom, think! Where do I go now?
The filly thought to herself as she kept running. She was almost out of Ponyville and quickly losing options. Luckily, her sight of the Everfree Forest ahead sparked an idea.
Sakura! She has to be home!
In her rush, however,
How will Sakura help
failed
you?
to notice the frozen pond just between her and the forest. As her hooves met the surface of the ice, she instantly lost traction and slipped onto the pond. Lady Luck must have been smiling on the filly, though, as her momentum carried her forward without injury. The same would not be said for Flim and Flam when they stepped onto the pond. In near comic fashion, they immediately smashed through the ice and into the freezing water, crashing into a powdery snow pile and creating a cute puff of snowflakes.
Sorry for them to get a little wet behind the ears.
Flam howled, pulling himself out of the frigid pond. When Flim didn't resurface from below, the mustached stallion groaned angrily, but closed his eyes in concentration. His horn emanated faint green again, and soon a giant ice cube emerged from the pond. Of course, Flim was frozen inside.
Oh, frozen.
Flam growled, angered by both his brother's incompetence and that Applebloom had escaped. He glared at the offending forest that now sheltered the filly he had pursued.
That's right! Run! You can't stop us! We will get what we want, and there's not a thing you can do about it!
When there was no
Except
reply,
calling the guards.
the stallion grunted and began levitating his frozen brother with his magic.
Come on, Blockhead. The time has come.
Meanwhile, Applebloom maintained her speed through the forest. She desperately wanted help now, and Sakura was the only one she was thinking about. One must know, however, it is unwise to do so in the Everfree Forest. especially during winter. The filly was soon assaulted with all manner of impeding natural elements. Low-hanging branches scratched at her hide, roots tripped her hooves, and the declining temperature chilled Applebloom's very core. Of the worst phenomenons that the forest had to offer during the winter was something very curious. In the peculiar opposite of quicksand, there exists an icy counterpart that acts similar within the Everfree. This dangerous prey, known as wintry embrace, ensnares any being unfortunate enough to run afoul and eventually freezes them solid.
Oh boy.
This normally would be of little importance, but it so happens that poor Applebloom landed smack dab into its trap. She was so preoccupied to Sequoia's that she shrieked when her hooves were suddenly frozen to the small patch.
Help! Help!
The filly screamed. Her struggling against the trap was in vain, though. As
Oh
the
no,
ice
she's
wrapped
getting
around her
frozen.
legs.
Help!
The situation was very bleak, and growing more so for Applebloom. No pony was around in town, and certainly not within the Everfree forest, except for the feared shoveler, who now approached her slowly. The stallion was still covered in thick clothing, dragging along the shovel in his mouth. He didn't say anything as he neared closer and closer. Applebloom's eyes widened in fear.
No! Please, somebody help! The shoveler's gonna get me!
Her cries would go unheard, sadly, as the ice eventually encased the small filly. Slowly, her vision began to fade as she felt herself losing consciousness.
Uh-oh.
I told y'all, I'm going back. You can't stop me.
Applejack proclaimed, cinching the straps on her saddlebags upon her back. The orange mare was absolutely livid, and her brother wasn't exactly helping. The two siblings were still situated within the Manhattan train station since they found out Applebloom was left behind. The rest of the Apple family had journeyed over to the Oranges to stay the night. Big Mac raised a huff in protest.
Hey, Jay, she's fine. We should wait for another train and then we can all go.
I am not gonna wait a second longer. This never would have happened if I personally checked on Applebloom. Shame on y'all for trusting Mushy Core.
I said I was sorry.
Her brother
What?
quickly responded.
Why would you trust the bedwetting colt?
He shook his head and stomped a hoof against the floor.
It doesn't matter now. Let's just go get her.
Applejack nodded, pushing her hat tighter onto her head.
About time. Had enough chit-chat.
Without another word, she abruptly reared onto her hind hooves and launched forward into a full sprint. It took a moment, but her brother soon followed close behind her as they departed the station and galloped towards Ponyville.
Please let her be safe.
The orange cow pony thought to herself while speeding ahead. Regardless, Big Mac and Applejack were on their way.
To be continued. Chapter 2 credits. Okay, I already read that in the first chapter. Crystal Bell is Granny Smith. Optic Fall is Mushy Core. Pikamew 15 as Applebloom and Applejack. Jacob M. Keen as Brayburn Flam. Geeky Sonic as Big Mac and Train Conductor. Saved by Voice as Flim. Agent Zero Fluffy as narrator. Directed, edited, and produced by Agent Zero Fluffy. Okay, time for more bloopers. Let's see how they are.
Did I do 3 takes on the others? I think I did. I can't remember. I just remembered. I was like, how many takes did I do? I think I did enough. I think I did. I am almost positive with how many bloopers I fucking have. Alright. Today's heartwarming fucking shit! I want to say today's heartwarming. Oh, it's the day before heartwarming Eve. It's not even heartwarming Eve yet. Okay, it's the day before fucking Christmas, Apple Bloom. Get it right.
Don't tell me what to do. I want it to be Heartwarming Eve. Everybody loves Heartwarming Eve. Almost as much as they love Halloween and Thanksgiving.
Actually, Thanksgiving is, some people celebrate Hanukkah.
Wait, isn't Hanukkah on Christmas?
Yes, it is.
No! We're not doing this shit. I don't even remember anymore. Shit! I seriously don't remember. No, I think Hanukkah is actually in December, if I remember right.
It is.
Fuck! I don't even remember. Where's the calendar? Fuck it. It's not important right now. It's irrelevant. I need to do my lines.
Big Mac? Brayburn? Why am I concerned about Brayburn? That annoying ass little pony. Like Appaloosa. Fucking annoying ass cousin. I live in Ponyville. Well, I live in Sweet Apple Acres, which is right across from Ponyville. But it's like, I love Sweet Apple Acres, but you don't see me going at Sweet Apple Acres. Like,
Yeah, she doesn't.
Fuck! Like, deck the halls with balls of holly.
Apple Bloom singing.
La 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly. La 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 la. La 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 with no pony to ruin hearts for any party.
That ad-lib! Ah, yes! Put it in there! Oh, yes! Oh, gosh. Fucking shit. Ah, shit. I closed my script. Get back in the script!
Stop closing your script.
Asshole. Alright. I'll also do some humming.
Ah! Motherfucking pond! Fucking snow!
I would know that feeling so well. I used to live in a very cold area where it snowed all the freaking time. And I was not very good with ice.
Really?
Slipped all the fucking time. Every 5 seconds!
Oh man, I'm really sorry
I felt
for
like
you.
Bambi.
No! Please, somebody help! The someone's gonna get me!
How I feel when I play Slenderman.
Oh, I
Like
see.
serpentining through the trees, just slithering through the trees, like do-do-do-do-do-do. Like, help! Slenderman is gonna get me! Oh gosh, that used to be me so bad. Oh gosh, that was great. That and Eyes. Oh my gosh, I've only played Eyes once or twice.
I've never heard of Eyes.
So bad. It's just like, ah! Like, bitch, I had to grab you by your weave and smash your ass against that wall. Coming at me with your long ass hair. Don't even have a freaking neck or a body. You're just a head. Oh gosh. Oh, shit. Creepy as fuck. I'm not gonna wait a second longer. This never would have happened if I personally checked on Apple Bloom. Shame on you for trusting Mushy Core. That little shit ate her Zap Apple Jam being a little shit stain as he is. Man, Mushy Core, I don't even know why we invited you. I don't even know why you're a part of our family. Like, you should be removed. Damn, that was harsh.
Wow,
it's
that
hard
was
to be a lot
harsh.
nicer to you. Like, don't wipe those crocodile tears off your face. You know how naughty you are. Like, don't even play. Don't even play the victim right now. You know what you did. You know. Okay? Fuck you. Sorry. Fuck you.
Indiana Jones.
I don't even know why. Indiana Jones. Oh gosh. Anyway.
Because your mind is somewhere else, maybe?
Yeah, there you go. Bye. Da-da-da-da.
I don't wanna lose you now.
Cute Granny Smith singing. Is that Justin Timberlake's Mirror?
It's a shame, and there you go.
Won't go Granny Smith.
And I tell you, baby, it was easy coming back into you was I figured it out. You were right here all along. It's like I'm a mirror, my mirror sitting back at me. But with all of these wrinkles, I wouldn't want to look at me, I'm just saying I need a moisturizer.
Granny Smith's so self-conscious.
Whatever it is I go through, yeah. The Timber Worlds. Thinking Justin Timberlake. Okay. Nah. Justin Timberlake. Oh my god. Go ahead, girl, go ahead.
Oh, more Granny Smith singing. Stay tuned for the final chapter and thanks for watching. Well, there's no need to stay tuned because it's right here. Now let's get to it. Not gonna read the credits again. Chapter 3, Carol of the Apples.
Applebloom slowly opened her eyes. She felt cold and disoriented, but no worse for wear, all things considering.
Oh,
Warmth was slowly spreading through her limbs.
this must be another piece of artwork.
However, as she registered that she was near a fireplace, a blanket was draped over her small body, but no pony was around for her to question what had happened. What she could tell of her situation was that she was now in the living room of a tiny cottage somewhere. The abode was rather humble. A few pictures hanging on the wall and a chair facing the fire. 2 doors were along the opposite end of the room, with little much else. The filly racked her mind for clues on where she was. She remembered running away from Flim and Flam, escaping into the everfree forest, but beyond that...
Wait! I was frozen in that ice patch with the shoveler about to get me! What happened? Was I dreaming?
While her musing continued...
Why would you be dreaming about something like that?
The noise alerted the yellow filly and startled her even more to see the shoveler limping towards her with something in his mouth. Applebloom screamed. She immediately kicked the blanket off her body and hurriedly scooted away from the intruder. Her forehooves rose to her face in a sordid attempt at protecting herself as she continued to scream, eyes clenched tightly.
You know, you could do something other than scream.
Just when she abandoned all hope and truly thought that this was the end, the filly felt something small pushed towards her. She cautiously opened one eye to pick up what the object was. Instead, to be surprised that it was a mug of hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate?
Applebloom lowered her hooves and looked up at the stallion before her. His kind expression and welcoming smile eased the filly's fears, as well as confused her. The shoveler wasn't some sort of monster, as she had previously thought, nor how Big Mac and Applejack had described.
No, he's
Without his
not.
thick clothing, he looked just like any other stallion. A thick, silvery mane complemented his gray coat, but both were contrasted completely by his warm golden eyes. Applebloom couldn't help but glance at his backside for a cutie mark which, sure enough, was a pair of crossed shovels.
Oh, thanks.
She finally said.
I guess
The shoveler
was what she
watched
was
her
thinking.
expectantly until she finally took a sip of the hot chocolate. Applebloom savored the rich taste and the warming sensation it gave as it traveled down her throat. It wasn't the best hot chocolate ever, but she appreciated it nonetheless.
It's better than
Her
nothing.
eyes returned to the stallion before her.
Did you save me from that ice?
The shoveler simply nodded, still keeping that warm smile. When he didn't say anything, the filly continued.
Thanks for saving my life. I'm sorry for screaming at you like that earlier. My name's Applebloom. What's your name?
Instead of answering normally, though, the gray stallion waved a hoof at his throat. Applebloom cocked her head in confusion, unsure of what he meant.
What's wrong? Something caught in your throat?
At her question, the stallion shook his head and instead pointed at his jaw. A rough, jagged scar traced around the higher part of his neck. Though it was healed, it still depicted a painful experience. Applebloom shuddered, but nodded her head understandingly.
What happened?
In response, the shoveler nodded to the fireplace mantel. The yellow filly stood up, trotting over to better look at the pictures atop it. Each photo showcased the stallion beside her, along with two ponies that would most likely be his parents. Years separated the pictures, going from foalhood to what must have been a few years ago. One was inside of a family room, another from an outdoor picnic, and another from the groundbreaking for what appeared to be the family business. It seemed that the stallion's talent was generational as well, each pony in the picture possessing a cutie mark that connected with his. Smiles and happy memories radiated from the collection. It was the last frame, though, that caught Applebloom's attention, a newspaper article. Tragic accident strikes slate factory.
Huh?
Officials are still unable to determine the cause, but a malfunction in the local family business production line triggered a massive domino effect. Unfinished products were shot out in all directions and issued severe structural damage. But, most unfortunately, claimed the lives of
Another buffer.
Grace.
Well, looks like we're gonna have to just wait for a little while. Alright, I think that's enough waiting, so let's get right back to it.
Slate and Ruby Trout. We mourn such a heavy loss to our community and pray for the sake of their son, Little Slate, who is still in intensive care at Canterlot Medical. Applebloom's breath caught in her throat as she pieced together the shoveler's story. She tried to say something, anything, to reassure the stallion, but nothing seemed appropriate. It wouldn't change what had happened to his family. What bothered her was that he was now viewed as some sort of monster, not
Oh, that's sad.
traumatized. Lightly pressing a hoof to his throat, the shoveler quietly rasped,
It was my fault.
What? No way! It was an accident!
The stallion shook his head slowly. He began to speak, but the action itself cost him a sharp pain.
We had a fight that day. I said a lot of terrible things. And then I shot my father against the factory machine. I didn't know all that chaos would happen, and I couldn't stop it in time. They're gone. Because of me.
But it's not your fault!
Applebloom explained. She trotted closer to him and stared up at the stallion until he met her gaze.
You can blame yourself all you want for what happened, but you're still a good pony. Otherwise, I'd still be frozen out there. You saved my life, little Slate.
The shoveler stiffened a bit from the sound of his name. His eyes flickered to the photos atop the fireplace. When he didn't say anything, Applebloom continued.
Arguments and accidents happen, but we can't let them ruin the bonds we have.
She measured his expression, waiting to see if she overstepped her bounds. Pointing a hoof at the pictures, she reasoned.
It's the little things that matter in the end. The ponies you care about and the memories you make with them. Your family.
The word seemed to echo in her
Oh,
mind.
she's got an epiphany.
She had wished to be alone for Heartswarming Eve. Alone for Heartswarming Eve. The holiday that was completely dedicated to spending time with loved ones. They should have been back in the farm and...
The farm!
Little Slate cocked his head in confusion, but the filly didn't halt her loud epiphany.
Flynn and Flam are about to run my home!
Oh, that's right.
Before the stallion could so much as breathe in to voice his concern, Applebloom shot away and out his front door. She galloped through the edge of the Everfree Forest, towards the direction of her home.
I may have ruined my own Heartswarming Eve, but I'll be darned if I let those two nincompoops ruin it for my family!
She
You
thought
tell him,
that
Applebloom.
one way or another, she was going to find a way to save the barn. Thankfully, the filly had more than a few ideas on how to do so.
Oh, Flim is still frozen.
Will you stop that shivering, Flim? Your teeth are going to fall apart if they keep chattering like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not like I was frozen in a giant ice cube. Nope, I'm just overreacting.
Stop being such a filly. We've got work to do.
Several hours had passed since they had chased Applebloom out into the forest. Flynn had to be thawed after all, and they were finally ready to ransack the Apple's home. The evening's darkness provided a good cover for the duo, but that hardly mattered since no pony was around anyway. Either way, they approached the farmhouse now with an air of confidence as well as a slight grudge held between themselves. It was almost 4 in the morning now, and neither of the two were as enthused as they once were about revenge. Just when Flynn stepped up the porch and was about to open the door, Flynn hurriedly stopped him.
Oh, wait. What if that little brat left something behind since she knew she was a goner?
Are you off your rocker? She was just a little filly brother of mine. A filly that we don't have to worry about thanks to the Everfree.
Flynn shook his head.
I'm not risking it. I'll go through the back instead.
He said, hopping off the porch and advancing to the rear of the house.
Whatever.
Flam retorted. He rolled his eyes and raised his hoof to the doorknob. No pony locked their doors in Ponyville, especially during
What?
in Equestria.
No one locks their doors? So they're not at all concerned about having their stuff burglarized? You know, someone should contact the princesses about that.
It was to the unicorn's shock that he now found it completely jammed shut. Not only that, but now his hoof was stuck to the knob.
What sorcery is this?
He leaned closer to the door and sniffed, a strong, familiar scent filling his nostrils.
Tree sap? Well, that's just swell.
Flam thought. He placed his other forehoof against the knob to push himself free, only to realize his ridiculous mistake now that both his hooves were caught in the sticky substance.
Oh boy.
Nancy's trousers open!
He exclaimed as he smashed his body against the door. Meanwhile, Flem was having similar
Oh, so now we're back to the cover
in the
again.
house. He had forced a window open, but was having difficulty fitting his lanky body through the frame. It was a small miracle when he finally squeezed through the opening. Not so miraculous, though, when his hooves landed upon the floorboard that instantly seesawed upwards and smacked his face.
Oh, face!
He shouted, but was cut off as his hindquarters pushed up another floorboard to flatten his nose.
Oh,
The
2 for
stone hit his
2.
head and scooted along the floor instead of walking. He didn't care about the strange, glittery substance that covered his pathway. That is, until the effect of the itching powder took its toll upon the unaware unicorn. Flem began scratching his body, desperately trying to rid the annoying sensation. When that didn't work, he banged against the furniture around the back kitchen with little success. Fortunately, his rudimentary flopping had bumped a jar of something from the table to land in front of him. With anxiety, he read the label out loud.
Anti-itch cream? Oh, thanks, Celestia. Yes, please.
He immediately removed the lid and began spreading the gel all over his body and mane. It seemed to be working quite well, and relief flowed through his senses. Grinning, he looked back at the jar, but found the label had peeled off to reveal something else.
Greasy Gear's unwanted hair remover?
Flynn dropped the jar and took in a deep breath.
Oh!
On the other side of the house, Flam had managed to escape from the front door trap with a little bit of ingenuity. Or rather, removing the handle from the door, yet leaving it stuck on his hooves as he trod around. The unicorn recognized his mother's scream and called out.
Flem, what's going on? Where are you?
He ventured on further into the home and entered.
Oh,
the living
Flem's
room.
holding a jewel.
Nothing seemed out of the ordinary as he gazed about the quarters in search of valuables. Now was the time for vengeance. His brother was probably fine anyway. Flam's musings, however, didn't allow him to view the narrow band of ribbon in his path.
Oh boy.
Continuing on, his expression contorted to one of perplexity as he felt the strange plastic warp to his upper lip and jaw.
What the?
He said, raising an eyebrow. The unicorn brought his hooves, still adorned with a doorknob, to his face and pulled at the unknown assailant. Whether part of the original trap or just crazy happenstance, the metal scratched against a stitched fuse and set it ablaze. Little did Flam know that he had just ignited a chain of firecrackers right on his face.
Uh-oh.
Ow! 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 Ow!
The of
Ooh.
errors happening within the living room had reached Flim's ears as he cautiously approached the source. Each step brought more pain to the unicorn, but he tried on to find his brother in a sorry state akin to his own.
Flam, I don't think that filly kicked the bucket in the ever... Mother's beard, what happened to your mustache?
The now itch-free stallion exclaimed in surprise. Sure enough, Flam's majestic facial hair was a thing of the past. Now it was simply a smoldering stubble on his face.
What happened to me? What happened to you? You look like that hideous naked mole rat the neighbor kept all those years ago.
Truth be told, Flim looked worse than that. All his body hair and
Flam's mustache is short now.
Quite pitiful looking. Hairless for hard
And his coat is almost gone. Or partially gone.
response could be made though. A younger filly's voice interrupted them.
You stallions give up or you're thirsty for more!
Oh, she said it.
Flam's attention shot up to the height of the staircase behind them. Much like an adorable harbinger of doom, Applebloom proudly stood and smiled at the two.
You could just go home, you know.
Flam's stunned reaction rapidly changed to anger, eyes glowing wildly.
You're done for, brat!
He shouted, rushing for the stairs. As he reached the first step, the unicorn heard a loud series of thunks. The noise disrupted his progress and caused
Oh,
him to
here
fall
comes the
back up.
bowling ball.
To his shock, Applebloom had unleashed a barrage of bowling balls down towards him. Flam shouted,
Steer right.
tripped up by the multiple projectiles and being launched right back into Flim. Applebloom pounded a hoof in the air and joyfully cheered.
Yes, yes, yes! Strike!
I said it first, Applebloom.
Her excitement would be short-lived, unfortunately, as the brothers soon pushed themselves up and rushed the stairs yet again. She hurriedly fled to the last bedroom with Flim and Flam in hot pursuit.
I'm gonna scalp her and use her bow as a new mustache!
Bursting through her
Oof,
bedroom door,
that's
Applebloom
violent.
galloped to her open window and latched onto the zip line she had previously set up. Thankfully, all of her evening's preparations were going according to plan. Who knew all of her failed attempts at getting the kitty mark while crusading would come in handy so well?
Come on, slowpokes! You better catch me before Celestia's real guards get here!
She goaded the enraged brothers. Before either had even come close to her, the filly pushed away from the window and sped down the zip line. Her safe landing in the yard angered Flam even more. The unicorn was almost to the point of foaming at the mouth, barking to his brother.
Get over here! We have to get her!
I don't know, Flam. I'm kind of scared of her.
His maid's almost gone.
Soon, the pair had retrieved ropes to use the zip line and pushed away from the window. Unbeknownst to both brothers, Applebloom was now cutting the anchor point
With her
cause another
teeth?
blunder for them. It wasn't until it was too late that they realized the zip line had now been severed. Screaming, Flim and Flam plummeted to a painful crash on the ground below them. Seeing her job was finished, the filly turned to retreat to Ponyville. She was sure their fall would leave them dazed for a while.
Flim, you bonehead!
Flam angrily said, smacking a hoof against his brother's bald head. The punch jostled Flim's head and caused his horn to spontaneously fire off shocking spells. To every pony's surprise,
Oh, Flim is
Princess
completely
Bolt
bald
ricocheted
now.
from
I mean,
trees
Flam.
until it collided into Applebloom. Unfortunately for the filly,
Uh-oh.
it was still strong enough to incapacitate her and force her to the ground. Her eyes turned in their sockets as she looked up from his prone position. Even worse, Flim and Flam eventually entered her line of sight.
Oh, how the tables have turned, little brat.
Applebloom was powerless to resist. Her body was still seizing up from the spell. To her chagrin, the brothers pulled her up to her hooves and grinned wickedly.
Hold on to her, Flim.
Flam commanded his brother. His eyes narrowed at the filly.
You have no idea how much I'm going to enjoy this.
Don't forget to save some for me, brother of mine.
Uh-oh.
Applebloom closed her eyes, terrified of the fate that now befell her.
I'm so sorry, every pony! Please forgive me for that stupid wish! I want to be with y'all for Heartswarming Eve!
Flam's horn radiated brightly, his anger energizing the spell into something far worse. The filly bowed her head in anticipation. She felt it was what she deserved after all.
Ooh, face!
Flam was knocked out cold onto the ground. His horn lost its charge completely and dulled out with his unconsciousness. Flim looked about wildly in the dark and exclaimed,
Oh, come on!
just like his
Two for
mother,
two again.
fell over unconscious from the sudden attack. Apple Bloom opened her eyes, surprised at the twist of events. It brought her overwhelming joy to find her most recent friend by her side.
Little Slate, you saved me again!
The stallion smiled and nodded to the little filly. With barely any effort, he scooped up Apple Bloom into an embrace. It surprised her, but she quickly returned the gesture.
Yay, AJ's back.
Apple Bloom's ears peaked, looking over Little Slate's shoulder to see her big sister.
Applejack!
She exclaimed. She gently eased out of his grasp and galloped towards the orange mare. With little forewarning, the filly pounced into a tackling hug upon her sister.
Yay, the sisters are reunited.
I'm so sorry, sis. That was really selfish of me for making that stupid wish. Can you ever forgive me?
Me forgive you? Apple Bloom, I'm the one who should be apologizing. Are you okay?
She asked, prodding her little sister.
I am now, big sis. I am now.
That's good, 'cause you have a lot of explaining to do.
Oh, the Apple family's
An
here.
elderly voice exclaimed. Apple Bloom peeked around her sister's hooves to not only find Granny Smith and Big Mac, but the rest of the Apple family as well. Her grin widened even further, spreading from ear to ear.
Y'all came back? For me?
Yup.
Applejack turned her little sister back around to face her.
That's right, little sis. No apple gets left behind. Especially not on Heartswarming Eve.
She explained, nuzzling Apple Bloom's cheek. The filly's eyes welled up with tears of joy.
Aww! Happy Heartswarming Eve, every pony!
At her jovial shout, every member of the Apple family gathered around and shared in Apple Bloom's happiness. It took several questions, but eventually Apple Bloom was able to explain everything that had happened. Even Little Slade was decreed an honorary apple as they took their party inside the farmhouse. Flim and Flam were promptly detained by royal guards and taken far away from the merriment being held at Sweet Apple Acres. Indeed, everything turned out for the better for little Apple Bloom. For her, it was the best Heartswarming Eve ever. Yes, even with mushy core.
Better not touch my Apple jam! I swear! Next time you touch it, the gloves are coming off! I will drop kick you out the window! And there will be an apple left behind!
The end. Full alone credits. Fanfic written by Weirdbeard. VA cast. Pikamew 15 as Apple Bloom. Crystal Bell as Granny Smith. Pikamew 15 as Applejack. Geeky Sonic as Big Mac. Optic Rainfall as Mushy Core. Jacob M. Keen as Flam. Saved by Voice as Flim. Jacob M. Keen as Brayburn. Geeky Sonic as Train Conductor. Jacob M. Keen as Lil Slate. Agent Zero Fluffy as narrator. Artists: Asher Rivers, MLP Twinkleshine. Extras: Agent Zero Fluffy, director. Agent Zero Fluffy, editor. Agent Zero Fluffy, producer. Well, that's the end of the Foal Alone series. Stick around for the bloopers, okay?
There is no please. No. Like, I am not going to be polite to tell you to please not eat me. Like, don't eat me. Period. Do not eat. I am not tasty. Do I look tasty? Do I taste good, huh? You tell me I'm not interested in being food. What? No, why? I was an accident.
Oh my god.
Damn it. No way, I was an accident. Yeah, I'm sorry you had to find out this way, Apple.
Oh
You
man.
weren't supposed to be here. So everything I know is a lie? I mean, our parents loved you, don't get me wrong, but I mean, you know, we just kind of played hot potato, you know? Like, it was just 1 minute you'd be crying and we'd be like just passing you off, like, to everybody.
Oh boy.
That's just messed up.
Sure is.
Whack. Yes. Oh gosh, gotta love Batman. Oh gosh, that'd be just epic. Oh, it's yeah! Apple fucking Jack, bitch! Okay, yep. Da-da-da-da. I'm back. No, you're not. Shut the fuck up.
Whoa.
Angela, do you want me to just wait till these guys wake up and then just let them do whatever they want to? No? Then shut up. Okay. Oh no! I don't know why. I read, like, I didn't read that paragraph afterward. I'm like, oh, so Little Slate did save him. For some reason, I thought the tables were, like, gonna turn and it was gonna be Apple Bloom. Or Apple Bloom. I read Apple Bloom, sorry. Apple Jack. Saving her for some reason. I got it switched. For some reason, I thought it was like, ooh, like, plot twist. Yeah. But never mind. Never mind. Yeah, you didn't save me. Shut the fuck up. You know what? I can dream, can't I? I was worried sick. Anyways. Me? Forgive you? Apple Bloom, I'm the one who should be apologizing. What did I do? What did I do? You fucked up, that's what.
Oh man.
I'm not the one who punched Mushy Core in the face. Did I punch him in the face? No, but he wanted to. Alright. That's good, because I gotta beat that ass. Oh, just kidding. I don't know. For some reason, I always
What?
Jimmy Smith just being completely savage. Just like, oh, you know, that's a really good, you know, that's a really good peaceful moment. Now bring that in! Like,
Again with the buffering. Jeez. This'll just take another moment. Alright, I'm back everyone. So, let's see if we can finish this.
bring that ass!
Oh yeah, that.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna send you that link to that video. You'll get what I'm saying. That's fucking hilarious. Okay.
I don't know, Flam. I'm kind of scared of heights and...
Text message.
Ah, what? Text message? Who is this? How can I have a text message? I'm too busy trying to catch a filly. Well, as far as I can tell, that's everything. So, I'm very glad to be involved with this. It's been very fun. Enjoy. No, I certainly did.
Here are some final words from Agent Zero Fluffy. Alright, let's see what she has to say.
Hi everyone.
Hello?
Fluffy here. Here are my final words regarding to the project Foal and also the story itself. I wanted to do this project for quite a while, and I wanted to do this for a Christmas special for this year, because I feel like this story deserves a proper rating. I have to say this project is something I am extremely proud of, and that is saying a lot, especially since everyone did an amazing job. The VAs with their amazing performances, and the artists with their amazing artwork. I have to say thank you to the cast for participating in the project and making this story come to life.
And we have to thank you for bringing this story to
I
life.
thank all of you guys for the
Aw, she's crying.
This project would never have happened without the VAs, the artists, and even the author himself for writing this story. Weirdbeard, if you are watching this, thank you from the bottom of my heart for writing this fantastic story for everyone to enjoy. This has been a fun time, and this has been Agent Fluffy wishing you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year.
And that's the end of the story. Alright everyone, I hope you all enjoyed this fantastic reaction. And hopefully you'll be able to see more content from me. So, goodbye everyone. See you in 2019.